What up, what up, what up? Champions Club. How you guys doing? Gonna do the Champions Club unboxing, and then I got Matthew, the Swimbait King, on to join us, hopefully. He's having some technical issues since this is our first time. What up, Steve, Jan, Josh, Kick Your Bass? How you guys doing? Matthew actually went out and bought a webcam so he can start hopping on periodically. So that's kind of cool. But we're trying to get it to work. I got a picture, but I don't have any sound from him yet. So hopefully he's tweaking it right now. Hopefully it will work. I'm going to do the unboxing first, and then we'll sign him in and see if we can talk swim baits. If not, then we will call an audible and deal with that. George, how you doing, man? Good to see you. So the Champions Club, Doyle. How many of you guys subscribe to the Champions Club? Anybody? Lefty, what up? Champions Club is the same price as the Major League Fishing Pro Box, $29.99 a month. And so far, I've gotten the Champions Club from the very first, when they first started doing it. It's probably been about 8 months now. And it's pretty good, I think. The baits, for the most part, are pretty top quality baits. There's only been a time or two I've kind of scratched my head and said, well, I don't think that's that great. But for the vast majority of the time, the baits have been great. They do a couple other things. So JJH does and Timothy does. Is that the only subscription you guys do, or do you do more than one? I was curious because I think most of my viewers probably don't subscribe to the Champions Club. They probably do Monster Bass, Mystery Tackle Box, Bass Baits Monthly, something like that. Hey, Shannon, how you doing? Anyway, the Champions Club, they say every month you're going to get 5 to 6 premium bass fishing baits. You have how-to videos with Major League Fishing anglers, exclusive discount codes, webinars with Bass Pro Tour champions, champions collector's photo. Holy cow, a collector's photo, free shipping, and more. Now, the one thing I will say is shipping is a deal, and you need to make sure that you understand how much you're going to have to pay for shipping before you order a box. Because some of these may sound cheap, then you add the shipping, they might be more expensive than like the MTB or the Champions Club. Champions Club is free shipping. Eric does 6 cents. Yeah, Eric's 6 cents is pretty sweet. Hard to be unhappy with that. I will tell you though, today I went fishing, and I fished mostly square bills and DTs, and I was pretty disappointed with my 6 cent square bill. I'm trying to remember which one it was that I used. It's one of the smaller ones. It was probably like the 55 size square bill. But man, that thing gets hung up in wood like crazy. And, the key to a good quality square bill is it's got to deflect off of stuff. If you can't throw a square bill into wood, that's disappointing. So, man, I ended up having to quit using it today. It got hung up so much. No, it wasn't the Quake. It was a square bill, Josh. I haven't thrown the Trace yet, Eric. But in any case, Not very happy with that square bill, but that I'm kind of getting sidetracked here. So let's go check out the first baits. Almost always in the Champions Club, you're going to get a ducket lure of some kind. Why in the world would you get a ducket lure every single month? Well, because Boyd Duckett owns Major League Fishing. So he's going to put his lures in there. And I'm not that crazy about Boyd Duckett lures. I have never fished this one, though. This one might be great. The price on this thing is about $10, $9.99. This is a deep diver. It's called the Sculpo XD Rattlin'. Dives 10 to 15 feet. This is citrus shad. Citrus shad is a great color. Absolutely. So I'm sure it's worth $10. I just never fished it for whatever that's worth. First up, I gotta say, man, they did a great. I think they've done well this month, with one exception, and I'm gonna show you that in a minute. Because I thought Bass Baits Monthly seems to be the box I want to try out. Mystic Phoenix, you will not be disappointed with Bass Baits Monthly. It's very good. Timothy does quite a bit, man. Champions Club, Florida Tackle Club, and MTB. Just canceled Monster Bass. Interesting. Let's see here. Mr. Bass, love those Mega Bass hats. Yeah, these Mega Bass hats are great. I like them too. Okay, next up, KVD 1.5 or 1.0 square bill. Now, the KVD 1.5, in my humble opinion, is one of the very best square bills on the planet. That thing is a fish catcher. It's an awesome square bill. Comes in a lot of great colors. I know a ton of guys who swear by the 1.5, and I've been very happy with the 1.5 over the years. The 1.0 is just a little smaller. I don't throw many 1.0s at all. This is the Sexy Shad color, which is another staple color you should have in your box. But this is a good lure. Definitely not great. It's no problem with this one at all. That's 2 hard baits. Next, 3 hard baits. Another excellent premium lure company, Yozuri 3DB Shad SP. This color is Prism Gold Black. And this is a, this is just more of a slender profile crankbait, 3/8 of an ounce, dives to up to 6 feet. Another excellent lure. That's 3 solid hard baits. You're right, George, they are pricey. But you want to talk pricey? I haven't even shown you the pricey yet. This is why I'm saying they kind of outdid themselves this month. It's a very good box this month. Check this out. Bam. Lucky Craft Pointer 100 SP. Just in time for jerkbait season. Ghost Blue Shad is the color. This is a $16 lure, although you can find it on sale for around $12, $13 right now, I think. This is an excellent jerkbait. The Pointer 100. And I prefer the suspending version, which this is the suspending version. And this is another go-to color. Any kind of a pro blue color is excellent. Like I said, this is Ghost Blue Shad, but it looks a lot like Pro Blue, just a little different. That is 4. Check it out. 4 high quality lures this month. And as far as hard baits, how many hard baits were in the Hendrix box? We keep talking about that. Only 1. And it was $5 more than this box. This box is only $29.99. And guess what? There's more in the box. Crazy. All right. This is the one thing I'm a little unhappy with for only one reason. Charlie's Worms, new color, Midnight Dream. I got no problem with Charlie's Worms. I know about Charlie's Worms. These are great worms. They float. Great worm. This is just a ribbon tail worm. What do you think my heartburn is with this pack of worms? Any guesses? Any guesses with what might be wrong with this pack of Charlie's Worms? I'll show you a worm up close if you want to see it. This is the 8-incher. Right on, Jan. There's only 5 worms in this pack. Yeah, no label either. That annoys me as well. Kick your bass. Go to Charlie's Worms and see how many worms come in a package. Go to charliesworms.com. Guess how many worms come in a package? Not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9. 10 worms. I thought Champions Club said they would not do sample packs. When I bought this originally, I thought for sure that was one of their things. Okay, it should be 8. Eric says it should be 8. I was just going off memory. All right. If a full pack is supposed to be 8, 3 short. Dang. Why do that to me? Especially when you've done so great on the box, everything else. Now you could say, well, they got to do a sample pack because they gave you so many amazing hard baits. Well, okay. That still doesn't make me very happy. Okay, there's still more though. I do think, even with the sample pack of worms, I still think definitely worth the money this month, for sure. Mustad, underspin shad, 1/4 ounce. This color is called Bass. This is great. Definitely will use this time of year in the fall all the way through the winter, even into the spring. Underspins are great. I didn't look the price up on this, but this is not dirt cheap. Another quality product by Mustad. So pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Okay, there's more. There's more. You guys are going to love this. We've talked about this in the past before, and I know you guys are going to love this. Shaving cream, man. You cannot get shaving cream in any monthly tackle box. Not anywhere. Only the Champions Club. Woohoo! Yeah. I know this is what you guys were hoping for, and I'm happy to report your dreams have come true. More shaving cream in the box. Bam! That's funny. Now, I will tell you, though, there's another side to shaving cream that you need to think about. The reason this is actually significant Who cares? We don't care about shaving cream. But the reason it's significant is this is Barbasol. They are a non-endemic sponsor of Major League Fishing. That's a big deal. What non-endemic means is it's a company that is sponsoring professional fishing and they have nothing to do with fishing. 99.999% of all of the sponsors for bass, Major League Fishing, NPFL, all these companies all sell fishing products. They have very, very few. There's a few out there. Bridgeford Beef Jerky, General Tires. There are a few other companies out there, but there are almost no non-endemic sponsors of bass fishing. So this is good to see. The sport needs a lot more non-endemic companies. So you know what? I think when I see this, I think to myself, I got to have shaving cream sometimes, not a lot, but sometimes for here, sometimes for here. I'm buying Barbasol, man, because they support fishing. They support bass fishing. Don't buy another company. Buy these guys. So they'll keep spending money on fishing. Throw out your other shaving cream and go get Barbasol. Even if this is funny. Even if it's crazy. What if a girl gets the box for your legs? There's all kinds of things you can shave with. There's other places too we won't get into. How do you fish with shaving cream? Joe says. My buddy Joe on the deal here, he and I went fishing today. Had a pretty amazing day on the water. All right. Another thing that you get with the Champions Club is you get discounts. This month you can get a 25% discount on Grundens, $5 off TH Marine, 20% off Barbasol, 35% off Mammoth. Look at these amazing deals. You can buy your shaving cream right there and get 20% off. Okay, last thing in the box, they don't have a sticker this month, but they have another pro poster. Best way to clean your boat carpet, Barbasol. Mark Moore, dude. Great information. Cool. Michael Neal is the poster this month. He just won Stage 7 on Lake St. Clair. That's cool. So that's everything in the Champions Club box. I think they hit a home run this month. Really. Except for this. Everything else is great. Great deal. How about that? Fish in the Southeast. Mix the cream with plastisol for the scent. Barbasol scented baits. That's sweet. All right, I'm going to bring Matthew Acevedo. Can we hear you, dude? Testing. Uh-oh, still can't hear him. Man, it's going to be hard to talk with him if we can't hear him. Best way to get the fish smell off your hands. Toothpaste, huh? Jan says 9.5 out of 10. Maybe a 10 out of 10. Doesn't mind the sample pack. Yeah, well, I agree with you, Jan. A sample pack's a lot easier to swallow when you have that many good baits in the box, for sure. Okay, Matthew, George has some advice for you. Shake your computer. That should fix it. Shake the computer. That sounds like good advice, George. Shake the computer. All right. Tomorrow night on the main live show, it's going to be an hour earlier. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. We're going to do the Dark Horse Tackle Box. Dark Horse. We're going to do that tomorrow night. We're going to do spin to win stuff. Joe says use a hammer. My wife says kick it. Okay, Matthew's still trying to tweak this. All right, we're gonna let's try him again. If we can't get him to work tonight, then we'll have him hop on tomorrow night. Tomorrow night will be a big show. If we put Matthew on tomorrow night also, Dark Horse Tackle, Spin to Win, and Swimbaits, but he's doing it on his phone, so let's see.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, we got you, man.
All right.
Sweet. Cool. Well, I guess we're going to have to do some more investigation on the new webcam, huh?
Yeah, it wasn't working for some reason. I think I gotta get like a mic or something, but I think I'll be able to use this for now at least. Let me get us a little stand here.
Cool. Hey, Fish in the Southeast, Steve Chapman's an awesome dude. And we're going to have a great show on Wednesday night. And hope to see you there on that. And we are changing the time on that show as well to 7 o'clock as well. So both my shows are going to be 7 o'clock now. Adam's saying check your computer preferences and make sure audio input selected. I think you did that, didn't you? Yeah.
I don't know why. It looks like it's picking it up for some reason on the computer. Like it looks like the audio is moving and everything, but then it just doesn't work. Yeah. I got to figure that out. I got to see what's going on.
That is
but
really
at least the picture's all right and pretty clear on here.
Yeah, it is pretty clear. So
shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, shouldn't be. Let's see. I can make the pictures bigger too, like that. I don't know. That might be able to. All right. So what I asked Matthew to do is to share with us. I'm not going to show you any of my baits tonight. We're just going to.
Yeah, it's pretty clear.
Okay, we're going to look at Matthew's because he got some new swim baits this week. In fact, he gets new swim baits like every freaking day, practically. So we'll try the big picture there, Matthew. I wonder what happens if I turn my picture off. I might hang up on everybody. Let's see.
I don't think it will.
All right, go ahead. I think I'll leave it on because I know they won't be able to hear me if I do that.
All right. Well, the first one I'm going to show is a
I can do it like this.
Not too bad. Pretty much glide bait that I've got from pretty much other people that I go on Swimbait Underground. I see a lot of people posting about them, so I really wanted to try them. I see a lot of guys catching a lot of fish on them, but is the Buka Bull Shad Gill Glide. And
all right, what's that again?
The Buka.
Buka, yeah. Okay, Mike Buka.
Yep, the Gill Glide. He makes these. These are just more of they don't sell these on the website just like all the other ones. You have to get them on his drops that are on the website. So these are pretty much, he still makes them and all that, but they're just a little bit more limited, but not as limited. They're still pretty easy to get. You just got to wait for the drops. Cool. But a lot of people swear by them, and I got this one on sale.
That looks like a crappie color.
Yep.
Nice.
And it has a pretty nice glide to it, wide glide. It's not too tight.
Cool.
So
that's really cool.
it'll mostly want to turn on itself. And then also you can burn them pretty quickly. You wouldn't think you could with a glide, but it's pretty good on a burn. I see a lot of guys doing that, really mainly, which I think is honestly probably the way I'm going to try and use it. And then also it comes with this inside here. I'm not sure if you guys will be able to see it, but there's a little hole right there.
Oh yeah, I can see it.
And so that hole right there is a little tuning chamber that he made for you, so that if you want, you can make this pretty much suspend or pretty much become suspend.
Cool.
And I think it has a slight float to it, but not really. And it'll start to sink just about right where I think it's about 3 feet. It'll suspend at. So it does sink, but it suspends at a certain amount of feet. So you wanna, if you have deep water, that'd probably be your best bet. And that will make it have a very smooth glide to it, because really that's what you really want, is really a suspended type of, glide, because it will have a lot. I'm trying to think of a word, but it'll cut through the water a lot more effortlessly. So as it's going through the water, it won't have to deal with it sinking at the same time.
Gotcha.
So any type of bait that kind of that's why the Romans, they glide pretty well, because they kind of float.
Yeah.
And so and a lot of people, what they tend to do is put some weight strips on them and then make them suspend. And then that really gets them to really glide really pretty far.
Right.
And that's what you really want on, a bait that has at least a little bit of float to it, is to make it do a suspend, because you'll get the best really action out of it.
Yeah.
But that's what I recommend.
Do you see Kick Your Bass's question here?
Do
you have any green leaf lures? Any green leaf lure swim baits?
No, I never actually heard of
that. They make some pretty cool looking glide baits. I was checking them out yesterday. And Adam's asking, do you have a preference on how the tails are made? Hard, plastic, hair, etc.?
Not really. I mean, as long as I have the availability to get the tails, I'm not really that, bad or that really worried about them. But if the tail is kind of like a hard to get sort of material, or maybe they don't sell them as much, then probably not. Like these bristles here on the Buka one, I don't kind of like that a little bit, but at the same time, they do last a pretty long time.
Yeah.
And heard that you can send them in to get replaced, but they're not too bad. But really, I mean, as long as I really like the soft ones, really, because you can replace them pretty easily. But it really doesn't bother me.
This is what he's talking about. The Buka has this, it's almost like a fiber tail.
Yep. So, and it looks pretty, natural in the water. That's why it's good about it. But over time, if you get a lot of fish hitting it from the back, they will kind of cause it to fan out and become smashed. But honestly, it probably won't really mess it up too bad, the action, but it'll still glide.
All right, what you got next?
The next one was a bait I had to wait a couple of weeks for. It was from Rob Swimbait, from Spain. I have it's from pretty Spain. Much sort of like he's from Spain, Barcelona.
That kind of looks like a negotiator.
Yep. And that's why I got it, was because it's all wood and it's not resin, so he hand carves these. But the price on them is not as bad as you would think. You would think something like this would be like $200 or something, but it's not. It's actually $125. So not too bad. But
that looks like a baby bass color or something.
Yep, it's a baby bass pattern, and he has, I think, another one two more that he just dropped on his Instagram. But it's pretty much like a negotiator. Has that real nice wide glide to it. Yeah. I tested it out the other day when I was fishing. It has a really nice glide. It sinks extremely slow, like a foot every 8 to 10 seconds. So I had to put suspend strips on it to get it down a little better, and now it's almost like a foot every about 6 seconds, 7 seconds, but it's still really, really damn slow.
Awesome.
But Honestly, it's a really good bait.
I'll show them what the negotiator looks like.
Yeah.
So they can kind of. This is a negotiator, and same thing. It's got one joint. It's wooden, handmade, real high quality. Has a
Yep.
really nice wide kind of S glide in the water. So you can see that looks really similar to what Matthew was showing you guys.
Yep.
You said this guy is Italy, huh?
Spain.
Spain.
Yep.
What's the name of his name of the bait?
This one is his glide. Is pretty much a 7-inch glide. That's all he calls it, pretty much.
I mean, what's the name? What's the name of his company?
Rob Swimbait.
I didn't hear you.
Rob Swimbait.
Rob.
Yep, it's the name right here on the side.
Oh, okay. I can't really read it.
Damn, it's clear on my phone, man. I hate that.
How do you spell it?
ROBS. Robs.
Okay, Robs. ROBS. Cool, dude. I like big old glide bait, nice wooden glide baits. So you said you have tried it once, huh?
Yeah, I tried it the other day to test it out to see how it was swimming, and I wanted to see if it sinks really fast or if it was sort of like a slow float, like a negotiator.
Yeah.
And what it was exactly like that. It just like sort of like really, really, really slowly sank, and it was real nice actually. You could count it down if you really wanted to, and not have to worry about it getting hung up right away. You know, because some baits they just sink like a damn rock.
Yeah, right.
But you know, that one was pretty actually nice, and it had a nice swim to it. It was pretty wide for being only a 7-inch bait. So
okay, I know you don't want to give away all your secrets, but what's the secret to getting your hands on a bait that's hard to find?
Really, it takes a lot of time looking for them, taking the time really to like sort of like look and do your research. It's really a lot of research and a lot of just figuring out what, you know, baits have been, a lot of people have been catching on for a little while.
Yeah.
And sometimes I also look for baits that, you know, are just becoming new, or a guy that just is starting to make new baits that look a little different and have a little bit of a different action than others. And, you know, that's why I tend to buy baits that, you know, not many are available, or there's a limited supply amounts, just like sort of like today when I sent you that, you know, message for those eludes.
Yeah.
And, you know, they last only for a short period of time. So it's like, you know, not many are made. And, you know, some have even how many are made. You know, they'll tell you exactly how many they have in a batch.
Yeah.
So, you know exactly the chance that you have of someone else really using that lure. So you know those fish aren't going to be accustomed to seeing that thing. And I think that was the only reason why when I was fishing the other day, I caught a fish on that rat that I was using, because I've never seen anyone using rats near me. When I see plenty of people fishing when on kayaks on the bank and stuff like that, never seen one, you know, throwing a rat. You know, maybe a jitterbug, which is pretty close, but it has a different profile than me. And I think that's really the key, is the profile to me. You know, a lot of people get caught up on the colors, but if you look at it, man, and look online to a lot of guys buying stuff, they'd be buying the craziest colors and stuff like that and still catching fish on it, you know. And it doesn't really matter, because the fish don't care about the color. To me, it's more the profile, because really fish have a limited amount of color spectrum they can see, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even with the red, you know, color that everyone says, you know, is the best color for, you know, any type of bass fishing. But once you go past a certain amount of depth in the water, you're not going to see that red anymore, because red disappears, I think, after like 6 or 8 feet.
Yeah.
It starts to turn brown.
Yeah.
And so, and then once it turns brown to bass, it's gray, because they really, anything besides those 3 or 4 colors that they really see much is gray.
You're right.
So that's
you are
why
right about that. In fact, do you remember the monofilament that what's the name of the company that makes the spin cast reels? They've been around forever. They've been around forever. The old school you know, like the spin cast Zebco.
Zebco.
Yeah. Zebco used to make a red monofilament.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I think they might still make it. But
They do.
but what they say about the red mono is it disappears in the water better than any other color line out there. And you would say, well, wait a second, how can that be? Everything we do, they tell us put red on. You know, you red hooks, red this, red that.
Exactly.
But you're right. It only takes like 3-4 feet below the surface, and the red spectrum disappears.
Yep.
Yeah, you can buy it at
That's
Walmart.
why a lot of guys
Cajun
back in the
line.
day.
That's what it's called. Cajun line.
That's why a lot of guys. Yep, I used to use that for catfishing a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
And really the thing is that's why a lot of saltwater fishermen when they I mean it was popular and I think it still is and you still see it, but back in the day, like 10 years ago, there was guys using red braid, tons and tons and tons, and when they were going on the charters, the braid would, you know, rub on the boats all over the damn place and literally leave the dye everywhere. And so they didn't like that. And so they were like, what the hell is going on? So they ended up stopping guys from using the red line. But then after it got caught up on, people just stopped using it. And then all of a sudden now you just see every few guys having it. And they really don't complain about it anymore because it has changed because the dye on it is a lot more stronger. Back in the day, I don't know what it was, but the dye used to just bleed from it. Like within, you know, 10, 15 casts, you'll have like the first 30 feet of your line, 40 feet of your line is already turning like a light pink, faint color. So, you know,
interesting.
But, you know, it was crazy though that, you know, people were using it so much that it was actually when they were going on those charter boats that it would literally destroy, especially those private little ones that were smaller. And they would bring the fish up on the boat. It would just rub the hell out of the damn boat.
That's crazy. All right, what you got next?
I'll show the bait. Actually, I caught a fish on the other day. I caught a fish on the elude zombie rat. I don't know how I just forgot the name. And so the zombie rat. And so I caught a fish on this the other day, just literally waking it slowly right above grass that was still around. And wasn't expecting anything, honestly. And just all of a sudden, boom, it literally came out of nowhere. And I was like, no way. And I thought I got snagged on something like a floating log or something. But then I said, you know what, screw it. And just set the hook. And literally all of a sudden the rod just started bending back. And I was like, oh, shit.
Wow.
And yeah, so then I was kind of happy about it. But I was totally lost. I was not expecting that to happen. It was literally within like 10 minutes of using it.
Okay,
and
so that's a good color. It's like a gray, which was similar to a mouse color.
Just a regular gray, flat gray.
Typical pink tail.
Yep.
Can you replace that with a trick worm, or do you have to get their tails?
You can replace it with really any type of really worm that would fit in there, but it's just a little screw eye. But they give you, I think, 2 extra tails. I'm pretty sure. And I got 2 extra tails with the other one I got, and then also you can buy their own, but you can use a what's it called, the Zoom trick worm, like you said, and it will work pretty well. You just got to cut it just down a little bit, but it'll work.
Is the action of that real tight, a tight wobble, or is it pretty?
Yeah, it's actually what it does is as it's going by, it literally just goes like this, and it's pretty tight, but it doesn't go out like wide. But then if you want to walk it, it walks, man, really well, like just back and forth like a stick. And the tail just kicks to the side and flops, and it creates a little splash. Oh my god, man! It looks like a little rat drowning.
Wow.
Yeah, that's so cool. It's pretty nice, man. And like I said, it makes this clunking noise that you can hear. It's like clunk, 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 clunk. But when
it's got a really big bill on it, so it probably makes a pretty big wake.
Oh yeah, it does. And it goes down if you want, but you got to go slow. It's not meant to go fast. Like it's not a fast cranking rat, because when I tried it, it just doesn't have the same action anymore. It just kind of just dies out. Gets a little more tighter, and then it starts to like wobble on its side. So I mean that might work in a certain scenario or something, but
Yeah.
I think it functioned the best going real slow, keeping the rod tip up and allowing it just to wake. And then if you want, just give it a little fast twitch of like the real turn, and it'll cause it to go down just for a second, and then it'll come back up.
Yeah.
So it was pretty nice.
George, he hasn't. He's still pretty careless around the hooks, man. Have you noticed that? He's asking what's it made of. George is asking what's it made of. I guarantee you, George is going to be cringing here in a few minutes. I probably will be too. I've got to not look at the hooks there while you're waving your hands around them like crazy.
It's resin. Yeah.
Okay, so it's a resin.
Yep. The wood ones, man.
Hey,
right now, the wood ones right now are ridiculous. The wait on time for them at the moment for the wood rats, since I had talked to Lendy today on Instagram, he was telling me that right now the wait for all pretty much the rats that he has at the moment, the triple double, the rad rat, the durable, they're all within a year to 2 years.
Wow.
So yeah.
That's
and
crazy.
I was like, well, that's why they're worth $800. And so
really, when you buy a rat, it's worth $800.
The
resale market's $18 or $800 for those things.
The triple double, yeah, and the rad rat.
Holy cow!
Yeah, I saw someone offer $800 on Swimbait Underground the other day.
Oh my goodness!
Yep. And then the guys were saying I'm not going to sell it. So imagine that.
And he wouldn't sell it, huh?
There was a guy that said that he still wouldn't sell it.
Wow, $800. This Swimbait game is not for the faint of heart. It's definitely pricey.
Yeah, it is. And that's why
in fact, you know what we ought to do, Matthew? We ought to do a show here in the near future, a budget swim bait show where we can show guys that don't have a ton of money a sampling of good solid swim baits that they could kind of put in their fishing arsenal without breaking the bank. Yeah. Heck yeah. Boom, boom. That one's a lot of glare on that one. It's hard to see that.
Let me get it out the pack.
We definitely should do a show on budget swim baits. Yeah, that's a good looking swim bait. What's that one run?
That's the Gancraft.
Yeah.
I wish this damn camera was a little clearer, man. And the Gancraft is pretty good, and it's a little bit more of a tighter action to it. You got to fish a little bit more faster. I find that's how it works better for me. I don't know. And I just got this one recently. It's a limited color that was dropped from the hookup tackle that they just did, and it's a smoke color. And I tend to do pretty good with a smoke trailer on my swim jigs. And so I was like, if I do good on a swim jig, smoke swim jig, might as well try smoke, swim bait. So that's what I tried. And so I haven't used it yet because I've been trying to test all my other baits that I had first and try to figure out which one I really want to try using. But I've been using more of, like I said, the rats, and trying to get more topwater bites in before it gets cold completely, Right. But I have been seeing a lot of topwater bites, man, recently here. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And they're just going crazy, hitting topwater shad and just anything. Honestly, I've seen, and there are most of the topwater bites I've been seeing have been bigger fish. So I don't know. That's why I've been trying to go for that bite, I guess.
Yeah. We'll definitely do a show on that. Kick your bass. We'll do one for budget-minded anglers. We'll do a budget swim bait show here in the near future.
And I'm gonna answer George's question because he had asked, "What is it weigh and all that?" And the rat weighs 3.75. The total ounces, and then it's 11 inches long. I'm pretty sure.
11 inches. That sucker's huge.
Yeah, it's pretty big, but I think they count the tail, the whole length
Oh
of it.
yeah, they do.
It's really
Yeah,
just like 8 inches or something
yeah,
like around there, but it's not too bad because it's like the size of my hand. You know,
right.
I got big hands, but
My wife's tires for her Camry didn't cost that much.
and so but most of the baits that are that I have that are from a lure or resin because most of the wood baits are pretty much damn near impossible to get at the moment, or just pretty much you're gonna spend, like I said, a damn monthly mortgage payment or
Yeah, right,
something like that for them, and I'm not willing
right.
to do that. Baits I buy are expensive, but I try to get them, for lower prices or for just retail. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And that's what I try to. That's why I kind of make out on because I'm always constantly looking, and I
yeah.
end up finding guys that are just getting rid of something for sale or something that just don't really use. And that's what I actually got this right here because of that. It was on sale. It was a slob stopper from Toxic, and a guy was just getting rid of it, and it's pretty much damn near brand new and barely used. And I was like, you know what? Let me get it, because I've seen guys smashing it with this thing, and it's a really good bait, and it's a walking bait.
Uh-huh.
So it's not really a swim bait, but they kind of classify it as like a glider, so a topwater glider. So it just floats and it'll glide on top of the
Mm-hmm.
surface,
Mm-hmm.
look like a bluegill profile, but it's pretty good. It has a really nice walking action to it.
George, the problem with eBay in the secondary market is you'll pay an arm and a leg. You think you pay an arm and a leg buying at retail. Once it gets on eBay, the price is through the roof. I really would not recommend you buying swim baits on eBay
No,
unless you just got so much money to throw away
yeah,
because the
eBay's
prices are
probably the
insane.
worst place to buy. So,
Yeah, the prices are terrible.
yeah.
All right, Kick Your Bass wants to know what's your most expensive bait.
My most expensive bait is probably the Ghost. Yeah, I would say the Ghost. Yeah, but
The Ghost?
um, yeah, the Ghost. But in flipper price, probably you know if it probably would, it'd probably be that UFO I got coming.
Okay. Yeah,
So
so what you're saying there is if you wanted to flip the bait and resell it,
yeah,
uh yeah, cool.
but they're like the Clash itself though is the most expensive retail price wise, and I got it pretty much for almost damn near retail. But it's
Yeah.
still expensive, man. It's a really expensive bait.
Yes.
But
Yep.
like I said, it is kind of worth it. And at the same time, you just got to be prepared, to really throw it. That's really the big thing about that bait is that it's kind of like intimidating to throw because it does kind of take a lot of work and a lot of effort to keep throwing that thing, man, because it's heavy.
Well, you also have to be willing to lose the bait. You don't want to lose it,
Yeah,
obviously, but anytime you throw a lure in the water, like I posted on Facebook today of me, a picture of me wading in the lake because Joe and I were fishing with these crankbaits, and there was only one color that was working today. We talk about color doesn't matter. Color mattered today. The only color that worked was the citrus shad color, and I threw it out there and it broke off. So I waded out into the lake to recover it. And that's what happens, man, when you break
yeah.
the
I've seen
when,
plenty of guys do that. Wait for the fish to throw the lure
yeah, yeah. Well, in
and
this
just
case,
look
it just
right back
broke
up.
off. But yeah, crazy, crazy. All
Yeah,
right, you got any others you want to show us?
yeah. I got a couple more.
Okay,
I got I got another donut. I got this one for retail. I didn't have to pay a crazy amount of money, nothing like
nice,
that. So it
nice.
was, and I only paid $90 for it, and it's all wood, handcrafted again. So it's gonna have
Why
that
do they
nice.
call it a donut? Any
He
idea?
calls it the donut shad. That's really the full name. But like I said, the donut part comes from pretty much the glaze that he puts on it. And so when you really look at them online, they kind of have like that frosted glaze kind of look to them on like a donut.
Like
So
a
he calls
Krispy
them that.
Kreme.
So it's pretty cool. And but they are really good bait, man. A lot of people are going crazy over them now. And I see them in the next year or so becoming a really, really popular bait. And sooner or later, it's going to end up being where you're going to have to wait probably a year or so for them. So, because the wait list right now for them are 6 months. So, you know.
Cool.
Right
Hey,
now.
Booster, that bait was not mine. It was my buddy Joe's. I didn't have any of them. You're right. You got me figured out, though. I've always got a spare.
And Booster, no, I don't have that high power herring. I've been wanting one of those. I almost got a perch one a couple weeks ago, but what happened was the guy wanted to trade and he didn't want to just sell it, but it was going to be a big, heavy price on it. But that thing, man, was beautiful. It was a perch 8-inch one. Oh, man.
Yeah,
I think the perch one is the best one, to be honest. I like his original one, but for some reason, man, the perch one looks like beautiful. And so I got these two as well. Two phony shads. And
very nice.
So I got the crappie version. This is a 2018 model, though. This is an older version.
Okay.
It's got the old phony Frog USA on the top. This one does not have that on here.
Okay.
So it's totally a little different, and also it's a little thicker. This one right here that has the perch sort of pattern. This one is thicker than this one by like a 0.5 millimeter. So it has a little bit of a different profile, and then it's a little bit taller as well by like a couple, by like a 0.5 millimeter as well. I measured them all out with a caliber gauge, and so and then the back as well has a different. They move. This one has more of a wider glide to it, so this one it will end up coming like this more than this one. So I think this one's going to end up having a wider glide to it further. So that's why I really want to test it out to see if it is. And I think it is going to be like that. So I'm hoping, because honestly, I like that wider glide on it when it starts getting colder versus when it kind of just turns on itself sort of in a short distance.
Yeah.
But they both have its benefits. In the spring, I like when it turns on itself, sort of like when the Clash does the dead walk.
Yes.
And that's really that's what I like a lot. So
cool.
But and then I also got this from the gathering that is on this that happened in Virginia. I got this for that reason, because this was going to be available there. So I got it before pretty much someone got it. But it's a bluegill style 3-piece. It's called From Andes. It's the secret Swimbait 3-piece gill.
Wow.
And yeah, his paint jobs, man, are really, really good. I wish freaking I had my other camera honestly on and just show you guys how good it looks, but it's a really good, man. His paint jobs look really realistic.
Nice. Hey, Alan, how's it going, man?
And so, and it's a crank down. This isn't a weight. This actually cranks down to about 5 feet.
Really?
So yeah, it'll crank down, and then as you pause, it'll pretty much start floating right back up. But it has a really sweet action to it, man. It's really nice. And the reason why I got it was because it has a similar profile or look to it as like a UFO. And that's why I really got it, was because I wanted to get something sort of like that profile and try it out and see what it's like before I end up getting that.
Yeah.
So, but I got that also as well for retail, which wasn't too bad. And could have ended up having to pay like $180 for it, because that's so how much that's what they're going for $160, but the guy was getting rid of it, so kind of got lucky.
Cool. Well, I think the thing you said earlier is really true, and that is you spend a ton of energy researching, reaching out to bait makers, contacting bait makers, doing all kinds of legwork behind the scenes to try to find baits and get the deals. So that's the way you do it. It's hard work.
Yeah.
and takes a lot of time. What's the most expensive bait you've ever lost, Dad Bod asks?
Uh, hmm. Actually, I lost. Not really expensive the most because I actually been very lucky, to be honest, that I haven't lost my expensive ones, to knock on wood.
Yeah.
But um, I've lost a lot of baits in general. I've lost like multiple eye slides, bowl shooters.
Yeah.
Lost a tiny clash
Oh
in the
yeah, that's a
one
pretty
peak
expensive
color,
one. Yeah.
and then a couple others, and also swim bait, soft swim baits I've lost.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Huddlestons,
Yep.
hog hunters.
Yep.
Those, man, and hog hunters are not cheap, not cheap at all. They're
Yeah. Yeah.
freaking $80 and $100 for a
How,
soft
how
swim
do
bait.
those catch fish? You like
Which
them?
one?
Hog hunters.
They're pretty good. I like the smaller version. And they're pretty good. Um, they they have a really tight swim to them, so they're pretty good in the winter, and that's when I think they excel. But also, a lot of people use them in the summer. But what they do is they just burn them a little bit, and then they'll just let them die off, and then let them just fall down on the edge of like tule pads or hydrilla, on the edge of a hydrilla patch, anything like that.
So
And they'll
those are real similar to the HUDs, aren't they?
Yeah, they're real similar, but they just have a little bit more, I think, better paint jobs, to be honest. But and they also come in some, I think, a little bit of a beefier um, profile. But they're a pretty good plastic though, and their paint
Yeah.
jobs last a pretty long time. Versus like when you get the Huddleston, some Huddlestons, the paint just like glitters just all over your damn hands.
Really?
Yeah, like the blackback shad one, the
Yeah.
glitter on that one on the Huddleston, the glitter just comes literally is all over your hand
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
you even
Yeah.
throw it. So
You know, Fish in the Southeast says just throw $100 bill in the water. You know, it's funny. I think I told this story once before, but I actually found $100 bill fishing one time in the water. I was fishing the bank of a pond and just fishing like I normally do. And I looked down there in about 12 inches of water, and there's $100 bill in there.
what the
Yeah,
hell?
that was pretty wild. That was a good day of fishing.
Yeah, yeah, that was meant for you.
Yeah, I found $100 fishing. That was cool.
That's
That
a
was
pretty
really
good day.
cool. All right.
And
Well,
so I also got this little OFM, which is a pretty good bait. They're pretty cheap. Not cheap, but they're pretty good for a resin handmade bait. This is a baby bass pen. I also got a black one, but I want to show you guys this one since it was a little better of a paint job. So this one here is pretty small. It's not big at all. It's only 2 ounces.
yep.
It's meant for pretty much you can use it on like a regular jig rod, and it works perfect. I actually use it on my black omen rod, and it worked really well on that. And it has a really nice glide to it. It almost similar to like an eye slide 135, but a
Nice.
little bit wider, and it slow sinks just a little bit slower. And then
Yeah.
also I have a little tracer on it, so it's pretty visible.
Yeah. 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 You can
And
definitely see
so
that.
it works really well. And I was surprised I didn't get a bite on it, to be honest. And but then I got a bite on the rat, so I was like, what the hell? And so,
Huh.
but I think it's gonna sooner or later catch me a good fish. And I see a lot of guys in Cali using this, and they're from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
These were really made for like smallies and stuff like that. So I could see it really, smashing a whole bunch of fish. If you really want to get quantity and stuff like that, this would be probably your best bet.
Yeah. Well, the other good thing about that is that it's only 2 ounces, and I say this a lot, but if you're new to swim baits, just getting into swim baits, don't buy a 10-ounce bait. Buy something 2 ounces or less that you can throw on a regular heavy rod. Then you don't have to go out and buy a new swim bait rod. Buy something light enough that you can throw it on your existing equipment. Get good at that, and then after time you can upgrade your. You might find you hate swim baits, and then you've spent all this money. You know,
Yep.
just
I've
get
seen
the.
that plenty of times, man. I've seen
Yeah,
it plenty of times. I've seen
yeah,
guys on the Swimbait Underground literally saying, "Oh, you know, I got into the Swimbait game, and then they got thrown off because they thought they needed all these expensive baits and
yeah,
all these nice baits, and
yeah,
trying to get into the trends and stuff like that. You
yeah,
don't need to do that.
yeah,
That's just part of like the hype. Like they literally say it's part of the hype. You do
yeah,
not need that. Like right now,
absolutely.
say Piz or UFO. I
Yeah,
actually got lucky with that, to be honest. I just randomly was he what happened was it was just a mistake. Honestly, I was on Instagram. He had posted a new UFO in a bloody car, but he had
wow.
told me that there wasn't going to be any UFOs for sale for a while, and I was like, wait, what the hell happened? But what it was is that B&A Custom, which is a bait painter, he painted actually this right here. That's who painted this,
Oh yeah,
and
nice.
so his name, the B&A is right there, but I wish you guys could see it. But
Yeah,
there,
you can see it.
but he painted that, but he painted those bloody carps. I mean, actually, it was custom, not B&A. It was customs paint. Damn it, I'm forgetting his damn name. It's something customs, but pretty much the UFO had sold him some blanks that he painted himself in a bloody carp that looked amazing. So he kind of did him like a favor and kind of sold the baits on his website and kind of like advertised them for him, and they sold out in a matter of like a minute because there was
Wow.
only like 9 available. So he
Huh?
did him a favor and sold those baits for him, and what people bought them right away because they looked really really nice and
Yeah.
really detailed. And I think his name is Clickbait Customs. That's what it was. My bad.
Clickbait
And
customs.
yeah, and he's a painter that's in Cali and really popular in that group of UFO, Elude, and all those guys that really are like top painters in the bait, custom bait type making, swim baits. And he ended up selling those. So when the UFO guy, I asked him, what happened, and he ended up saying, "Oh, I ended up helping that guy out." So he's like, "I wasn't going to sell anything, but I could actually help you out and put you on a pre-order." And I was like, "What?" And I was like,
Mm.
"Sign me up." And so and
Uh,
he literally was like, "All right," and I got you. And I was like, "No way." So it was just really out of luck. It just happened to be like that, and that's how sometimes it is with this swim bait. Sometimes even guys on Swimbait Underground are giving away baits for free. I've seen guys giving away, tons of baits, literally a whole lot of baits, literally like as many baits as I just showed you for free to young kids or guys that are 15, 14 years old, 17. As long as you're under 18, they'll give it to you.
wow.
So I've seen
That's
that.
really cool.
Yeah, and then they also have this thing on Swimbait Underground called the Bait Pass Around, which is a sort of like a thing they're doing on there, and they've been doing it for a couple years. But they actually have this one right now that's going around. It's the CL8 baby possum or the large possum is one of those. But they're pretty much doing this thing where you just sign up on a list and put your name on it, and then you will end up getting that bait sent to you, and you get to use it for I think it's about a month or about that time, and you get to use it and test it out, and you test it out, see how you like it, and then you end up passing that bait to the next person on the list, and then it
Ah,
goes on and on and on and on until everyone ends up using that bait.
cool.
And so guy's been doing that. Guy did it I think a year ago or a year and a half ago with a Piz painted 316 wake,
Yeah.
and then they did the CL8, and then someone else is going to do it with a Clash. So if you don't have the money and you want to try bait and maybe see how you like it or get into something like that, and you want to try something like that, you sign up for that and just wait a couple of months and you get the bait. If that's something
Cool.
you would like to try.
Cool.
Yeah.
Have you fished any of the 6 cent swim baits?
No,
Here's
actually,
the
I have
trace.
not. I
I
have not.
haven't fished it. I haven't fished it. I just got it a couple weeks ago, and I haven't fished it yet. But
I heard people say the draw is pretty good. The
this is
trace,
trace
I'm not.
is really cheap. I mean, fit regular. I mean, if you're wanting cheap swim baits, a trace is
Yeah,
pretty darn cheap.
yeah,
But
it's a pretty reasonable price.
does it fish well? Do you know? You're saying it doesn't?
I heard guys catching some decent fish on it, but
Okay.
you know, is it really any different than a buka? You know?
Yeah, doesn't look like it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just another 4-piece swim bait, you know. And there's
Yeah.
no hate towards 6 cents. You know, if you like 6 cents and you want to buy their bait,
Yeah.
hey, go ahead with it. It works and it catches fish.
For
But
the
you know,
budget, for the
it's
budget
just
angler.
it's just another plastic bait. You know, that's how I look at it. It's sort of like now, you know, how I see it in Clash, same thing. It's the same thing. They're pretty accessible if you know when to get them. Every Saturday at 10 o'clock at night, probably in about a couple hours, you can probably go get one if you want.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, it's not that really hard. People try to make it a big deal, you know, by not telling people so they can resell them. I'm not
Yeah.
here for that, man. The real
Yeah.
people or friends don't sell people $300 baits, $400 baits. And that's what people, you know, a lot of guys that were on those forums have gotten off of them because of that type of difference. Times have changed, you know, that guys are willing to flip a bait that cost $130 or
Yeah.
$120 for $250 to $300.
Right.
You know, it's not right. But, you know, back in the day, guys would literally just sell it for retail to the guy, you know, because he's helping
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
it's not like you're going to sell that bait every time for that price. That's just one time that you're helping somebody out. You know what I mean? So, but guys won't do that now. They'll be like, "Oh, I'm not selling that. You
It
got to
is
give me
annoying.
$400."
It is annoying. It's like the working class zero. I wish they only limited to one bait only.
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't understand that. And you know, I understand it's hard to paint, and you know, it takes a lot of time to paint every single one of those over time. And if you're making a lot of them, it's going to take a while. And I understand he's only, you know, a 2-man team. I think that's what he
yeah.
said it was, a
Yeah.
2-man
Right.
team.
Right.
So, you know, that is kind of tough, but you know, get help, man. Find someone who is you can trust that can then help you. You know what I mean? And then maybe you'll be able to make those baits a little bit more and not have to charge as much for them, which
Yeah.
then will make you be able to sell more. You know,
Yeah.
because I figure that you know if they're cheaper, people will buy them more because it is an expensive bait after shipping and
For
the
sure.
taxes and all that. It's like $70 for a 7-inch bait. And I
Hey,
understand,
everybody,
you know, a
smash
call
that
timer
like
or
button if
whatever.
you would, please. Appreciate. Give me a like. Give us a like. We'd appreciate it. Hey, Fish in the Southwest says, where do I go to sign up to test a bait for free?
You can go. It's on Swimbait Underground. You go on the Swimbait Underground forum, and they have them on there. You have to go onto the. It's the. Hold on 1 second. Let me go look at it right now. They have so many. So many.
Okay,
Selections.
guys. Tomorrow night. Spin to win. I'm going to unbox the Dark Horse tackle box. So we'll do that first in case people want to see what's in this, but they don't want to stay for the whole show. And then we'll also do our spin to win, and we'll do some other stuff. And it should be fun.
You want to go and when you go on the Swimbait Underground, try to check on the Underground selection or the Swimbait TV section, and that either there should have the bait testing selection list where you can literally sign up for that list, and then whenever that you're on that next list, you'll be able to test those baits. But you can go on there, and that's where you'll probably find them. You just go on and click onto it, and then you'll have a search tab. And then you hit the search of, like, say, if you want to get the CL8, put CL8 baby possum or possum, and should be able to find it.
Awesome.
And then I also have just 2 last baits that I pretty much have, which is the Legal Dope from pretty much Legal Dope, and it's called the Legal Dope Nuisance Dub. This is the bigger version he has. This version is pretty much a wake, and it kind of does subsurface, but also you can, if you want, since it was painted from BNA, he drilled a hole for a second hole that you can put the eyelet up here if you want, and it will make it into a wake. So,
okay.
I mean, crank down.
Gotcha.
So you'll get it down about a foot or a little bit more. So, but this thing, man, it has a really heavy tail on it. It's very thick rubber tail.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it thumps really hard, and you can feel it in the rod tip, sort of like almost like a walking bait. When you're walking it, it'll just kind of bob the tip. Same sort of deal,
Awesome.
but it has this real wide kicking action, and it's pretty squeaky. But once it gets in the water, it doesn't really, you don't really hear it. But it
Really
has a really, really natural swim to it. And
cool.
I have another one coming in a carp cut that was at the Swimbait gathering. A guy was getting rid of it, Wayne Campbell from Swimbait Universe. But he had a couple
Nice.
stuff that he was getting rid of. But I got a carp one coming, which is actually what that is. It's actually a carp profile, but in this is actually painted in a perch. But
Gotcha.
the one that's in a carp, man, it looks just like a damn carp, like
Wow.
literally. So
Really?
I'll show you that one when I get it.
Wow.
And then
Cool.
I also have the elude gas rat, which I got
Whoa. Oh man.
from Lendy himself.
That's pretty sweet.
And I'm gonna take it out the package in a second.
All right.
And so the gas rat is in a resin bait as well. It's not wood. I wish it was. And but it's a resin rat that's a little smaller than the gas rat. The gas rat is a little bigger, but it's a smaller profile.
Yeah. Okay.
And so it has, like I said, this is called the dirty color. It's supposed to look like sort of like a deer mouse,
That's a
deer
great color.
rat. And this one color I've really been wanting to get. I've been seeing a lot of guys selling them, and it looks really good in the water, man, and it looks really realistic. So that's why I've been really wanting to get them in this color. He also had a couple other ones available. If you wanted to shoot him an email, he will respond back to you pretty good. As long as you give him maybe 2 emails around 1 or 2 o'clock, he will respond back to you. And but I think I was able to get this before he ended up dropping them today, and they sold out. So you might have to wait a couple of weeks, but they should have some more in a couple of weeks because he's pretty quick with the resin baits. The wood ones, not so much. But this is the card it comes with, and it's pretty much tells you, when it was made, who made it, which was Lendy Ha, resin, September 20th, 2021, and this is the 10th batch of 22, and this is the 6th one. So there's only 220 of these in the U.S. at the moment.
Cool.
So that's
Really
how know
sweet.
the limited amount of them is really how with this card, and that's really what guys look for when you're reselling them and stuff like that. They know when's the year and stuff like that, and they know when they were made or how many of them, and that's how they go by the rarity and how much they go.
Right.
Because he makes so many baits, man. Like literally, I don't even know all the baits he makes, but he has made so many baits that it's unbelievable. Like he has so many damn rats. He has the switchblades. He makes the grenade gill, which I've been wanting to get for a minute, but the people are flipping them for crazy prices, and I'm not paying that. But they have that, the pistol gill, which is an old wood bait that he made that I don't even think they make anymore. The what's it called? Decoy flash, which is sort of like a clash bait that he makes, which is sort of a dead walking bait. It dead walks and it has the same sort of detail as the Clash does. And also he makes he just came out and it's gonna release a new resin glide that he has that looks like that. Yeah, and that one, man, that thing's gonna be worth a pretty penny on secondhand. So, and there's only 30 made. So, and who knows if he's gonna continue making them. This is a prototype, like test run.
Wow,
so
that's cool.
Whoever gets them is pretty much going to be like the only people that ever have them, because he has done that, where he just makes a bait and it looks like a good bait or something like that, and then he just stopped making. So
really,
yeah, there's a lot.
Wow, that is something.
It's sort of like Piz, and that's why certain Piz baits go for freaking $600-700, or guys trading 4 or 5 baits for one.
Yeah.
So but it's a really nice profile. It's pretty small, and it has a nice like
Oh yeah,
a little knock to it, and
yeah.
so the big one is a little, I think, a little deeper than me. It has,
Mm-hmm.
but they're pretty much sort of the same sort of sound. It's not going to have that clunking noise, sort of like the wood does, which is like the donut.
Yeah.
And that is sort of sounds like two pieces of wood obviously hitting each other. But the
Right.
resin ones, I think, have good purpose, and they do last a lot longer than the wood does if it doesn't have a clear coat. If it has like a not a thick clear coat, the resin rats or resin baits, their paint jobs tend to last a little better because they adhere better. I don't know why, but they do last one. I know guys that fish elude baits or other baits that are pretty good quality baits, and they literally caught 5-10 fish on them, and the paint job looks brand new.
Wow.
So yeah, so that's another reason why they go for really good money too, is because the paint jobs just don't chip off right away like a Clash bait. That's one thing I do not like about Clash, man. Their paint adhesion is terrible.
Yeah.
Worse.
Yeah. You coat yours, right?
Yeah, I put my what's it called? Swimbait rash guards. I got tons of them. Like I said, I have tracers. These are the Swimbait armor guard. Pretty much this is for the bigger baits. This is for the ghost I got. Then I have the ones that are pre-made, which are the K9 one. This is the K9. These are pre-made. This is a Swimbait armor as well.
Gotcha.
These are the tiny Clash ones.
Yeah.
And then I have medium ones, and then these are the tracers that I put on my my bait. These are all different color tracers, and they all have different things. These are reflective, so when in the sun or light hits them, they have sort of like that. Like when you see guys with those vests on that kind of have shine on them, the 3M film.
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty much like that, but in a tracer. So when it hits in an angle, you'll see like a flash, and it kind of makes them a little bit more visible versus just having the dull regular tracers. And these are dull, see, and these don't have a flash in them. So they're a little bit bright, but they don't flash. These ones here that are reflective have like a flash to them when they hit, when you get lights on them. So that's why they have like the reflective symbol on it. But I actually got this color. I'm not sure if they even released it yet, but this wasn't even out yet. So this is the reflective color in black.
Oh, wow.
And they wanted me to test it. I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to be showing it, but cool. This is the reflective one. So if you have like a white colored or a light green colored bait, you put that on there, and you think you wouldn't see it because it's black, but the reflectiveness in it really allows you to see it pretty well. Nice. And then I also have these, which are glow in the dark for nighttime fishing.
Wow.
So I have a little light right here. Let me blow them up real quick. So.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Yeah, they're pretty bright, man. They last a long time. Once you charge them up, I think it's 1 minute. They last for about like 15 to 25 minutes.
Wow, that's cool.
So they're pretty good, and you wouldn't think they would last that long, but they stay charged, and I barely did it. And it's still good.
Nice.
So, and they're bright, man. At nighttime, you see them pretty far. So.
All right, I gotta wrap it up here, but thanks for hopping on, Matthew. And like I said, guys, we'll do more swim bait shows, and
and talk about some hardware and stuff.
Heck yeah, right on. All right, tomorrow night, don't miss the Mr. Bass show, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Dark Horse Tackle, Spin to Win, and all the other good stuff. Hope you guys have a great night and a great weekend. Thanks again, Matthew.
Yep. No problem. See you guys.
See you guys.